This is ASMR EQ. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I want to go over some books that I've bought this year. I want to do a more lo-fi video. So I've got my real creaky chair and I have my water to sip on. And I have this pile of books back here to go through. First, let's do a shirt check. I just got this shirt. It's a Harley Davidson long sleeve, and I don't really care about what's on the sleeve or the shirt. It's what's on the sleeves. I thought this tie-dye pattern was really cool, especially for work. As it gets colder, I'll put like my work. We have like short sleeve t-shirt, work uniform shirts, and I'll wear a long sleeve shirt under that. So I'm always looking for cool stuff on the sleeves. And I was like going through the rack at the little vintage store in town, and I saw these sleeves poking out, and I just had to go and grab it. So I'm super stoked about that. Like I said, I've got this pile of books, and these books are probably like maybe like the past like 6 months. I got these books. My New Year's resolution at the top of the year was to read a book every month. And I have not done that, but it has not stopped me from purchasing books. Before we get started, if you enjoy these videos and want to hang out, if you could subscribe, I would really appreciate it. We're almost at 200 subscribers, so I'm really stoked about that. Coming up, that there's 200 people that like the channel. So if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. The first book that I've got is 2666 by Robert Monio. And you'll see kind of a theme. I really like horror books. I have a really bad attention span when it comes to reading. So I get a lot of horror stuff. And this book, actually, out of all of the books, usually like I go to the bookstore and like pick something out that sounds interesting or looks interesting. But this book was a recommendation from a friend, and she gave such a compelling pitch on the book that I had to go out and get it. It won like book of the year in like 2013 or something, or maybe even before that. It's like a 5-part story, I think, about this German writer. So I've only cracked into it a little bit, but it is written. It's written very well, very compelling. I'm 18 pages into it, and it's about a group. There's like group of professors and stuff from around the world are researching and talking about this guy. So I'm really excited about this one. This is 2666. We're gonna make a stack behind me. The next two are related. Talking about liking horror books and stuff. Like I got kind of down in the dumps. Maybe like a seasonal depression. And I was feeling, really rough. But my consume is like dark and depressing. The movies that I watch, the books that I read, the music that I listen to. So I wanted to make an effort to at least have a book or some books that were happy or like lighthearted, so that I could kind of ingest some better media. So first we have The Adventures of Tom Bombadil by J.R. Tolkien. And then the next book is actually also by Tolkien. It's The Silmarillion. I'm a big fan of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. When I was in like middle school and high school, I was one of those like talented and gifted students that read like way above their reading level. So I read The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books. And I might have talked about this before, but like, I read those books, but I didn't ingest anything from them, because I was reading those books because I could read them. I could physically read the words. Not that I was understanding like the story or the purposes. And I'm sure other people, if you're watching this video, you might be able to relate to that. Like, reading at a certain level, so you are reading the kind of, but like not understanding that literature. But what of it that did stick with me is like a fond memory. I really liked The Hobbit and how fun it was, and I love the Lord of the Rings movies. The Hobbit movies are good. I liked them. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I thought that they were fun. They're not as good, but not everything has to be as good as The Lord of the Rings. I think The Hobbit gets a bad rap because it's not The Lord of the Rings, one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time. But, long story short, The Silmarillion is like, if I understand correctly, I haven't cracked either of these books open, but like the Silmarillion is basically like the Tolkien Bible, or like creation story, where like it talks about the ages before the Lord of the Rings, and like the original like angels and original demons and the old Dark Lord, before Sauron was the Dark Lord. And I think it even goes into like at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings movies, if you remember, like they kind of talk about how Sauron manipulated the mortals of Middle Earth into making these rings of power for him. And I think that this book kind of talks about that too, in some more depth. So I'm excited to like get like a kind of a deeper insight into this series that I really like. And then The Adventures of Tom Bombadil. Again, I haven't cracked this book open, but Tom Bombadil is this like, I guess he's like immortal, or he's like thousands of years old or whatever. I don't know if he's like Tolkien's like self-insert kind of character, but like all of the poems and stuff that Tolkien wrote that didn't have anything to do with Lord of the Rings yet, I think he like collected all those poems and reframed them in the perspective of like, what if this dude named Tom Bombadil, who was around, wrote these poems, and what if he, or like, I think some of them are like the poems are like written by the hobbits kind of thing. So taking this literature that he already had and like recontextualizing it so that it would fit for the Lord of the Rings, I think that sounds really cool, and I hope that I have that right, because if not, I'll be really disappointed. got some fun books. So those are like the fun ones. This book I just got this past weekend. It's called Diary of an Oxygen Thief. I don't know anything about this book. What does the back say? The back says hurt people. Say Holden Caulfield was an alcoholic and Lolita was a photographer's assistant, and somehow they met in Bright Light's big city. He's blinded by love, she by ambition. Diary of an Oxygen Thief is an honest, hilarious, and heart-rending novel, but above all is a very realistic account of what we do to each other and what we allow to have done to us. Yeah, I don't know anything about this book except that it's heartrending. And every time I go to Barnes and Noble, I see this cover and I see that the author is anonymous, and I'm like, dang, that book looks cool. It's like deceptively simple. Like it sits on the shelf and it looks like this, and I'm like, I have to know what this is about. Short book. I thought it would be fun to read. Don't know anything about it. This next one I also don't really know anything about. I'm trying to slow down a little bit more in my videos. I have a tendency to get electric and ramble. So I apologize. I'm gonna slow down for these next couple. This one is called I Who Have Never Known Men. It's by Jacqueline Harpman. And let me look at the back. I'm pretty sure it's about like 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. So it's like oh, excuse me. I'm like learning about the book with you guys. A young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. So I got it, like, I heard somebody on Instagram talking about this book, and I guess, these 40 women have never, they're trapped underground. I also saw somebody, like, an Instagram reel that had this book in, like, books I can read in one sitting, you know, like, great books to read in a sitting. And I mean, this book it's short, don't get me wrong. It's 140 pages, but I cracked it open and like, these are real pages. So maybe I'm not like a real reader. Maybe I stumbled into like a mom talk book club thing. Like how everybody's mom can read 100 books in a day. Like, I don't know if it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm not reading this book in a day, so we'll see. I think my microphone is sagging. I feel like I'm having to like crunch down a little further. Maybe I'll check the video and it will have dipped. But that book seemed cool. I want to read more literature with female main characters, because that wasn't anything that I really read a lot growing up. So I'm trying to make an effort to read more books about women. Strange Pictures by Uketsu. Uketsu he's like a Japanese YouTuber, I think, like a horror YouTuber. You can see my bookmark. I'm about halfway through this book. It's 4 short stories. I read 2 of them. In this book, it's about like a series of, it's like it's 4 short horror stories, and each one is based around a different picture. Like, some of them are hand-drawn pictures, and some of them are like children's drawings, and some of them are schematics and stuff like that. I read the first 2. They're very good. I like them a lot. And it's so, like, when I finish this book, I'm gonna make a video about it, because I think Japanese horror is so interesting when compared to American horror. Like, I also have a book that was written by I've read a couple horror books by Spanish authors, and Spanish horror is very different too. Like, it is cool to read books from different cultures, and of course they've been translated, and sometimes the translations are kind of whatever. But like, what people in Mexico find scary versus people in Japan find scary versus people in North America, it's like wildly different. So I just thought that was cool. Make our pile. We got 2 more before my microphone falls and hits the floor. Monstrilio. Speaking of, this author's from Mexico City. I just got that on the back. So that's pretty awesome. Speaking of Mexico, and this book, it sounds really interesting to me. If I remember, that like there's a mother who, yes, her name is Magos or Magos, Magos. Her son dies, I'm assuming in some kind of a freak accident, and she like takes a piece of his body and makes like a little homunculus out of him, which I can only assume is this little guy. She makes a little homunculus, and I guess the homunculus starts being evil and like running around and doing evil stuff. But that sounds awesome to me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that sounds awesome. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I have the hiccups. Yeah, that's like the idea of like, grief and loss is like not uncommon, especially in horror. Like Pet Sematary is one of the most like notable horror books of all time by Stephen King, and that is a story about grief. So it's this idea that like bringing your loved one back from the dead and having them not be quite what you thought it was is like not an unthought of concept. But I really, really like the idea that it's a little homunculus guy and he's like gross and twisted. I think that's really cool. I'm a sucker for like Frankenstein. I'm a sucker for like a human who creates life in that way, and they're due to their hubris or something similar, like having that fail or be weird or whatever. So that book is gonna be awesome. And lastly, I got this book. It's called Grey Dog. God, this book is heavier than I remember it being. This book is dense. This is a long book. This is a dense book. You can hear it. I haven't like cracked it open in a while. This is another book that I bought and then didn't read. Grey Dog. I think the premise of this book is as simple as this lady keeps seeing this weird thing in her backyard, and she calls it a gray dog. And you can see, like, I think that this is just like a cover. It's like a half deer, half wolf kind of thing. I don't think this is actually what the gray dog looks like, but some like monster keeps showing up in her backyard. Ada begins to witness strange and grisly phenomenon: a swarm of dying crickets, a self-mutilating rabbit, a malformed fawn. She soon believes that something's old and beastly, which she calls the Grey Dog, is behind these visceral offerings with which both beckon and repel her. I bought this book after I read 10 revisit it with like a more mature mind. But I thought that idea of a gray dog sounded so like simple and like eerie that I was compelled to know more, and I just had to know more. So I did. My cat is coming in. She's trying to figure out what I'm doing. Well, that's all. That's the books that I have today. I'm gonna get more, and I have other books and stuff to show. So I'm sure there will be a part 2 or a part 3 or something. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It means a lot. I'm hoping to get to 200 subscribers soon, but we'll see. Yeah. If you're watching this at work, keep working. Be safe when you drive home. If you're at school, stay in school. Don't drop out. If you're chilling at the house, chill at the house. Cool. I'll see you guys in the next one.